Many of our viewers recently have asked the same question. Dr. Paul, how can I be more confident saying no to my kids? I've got 3 clear tips for you to do this, and the third one is going to surprise you a little. Building confidence. Okay, here's your first tip. We have to understand what confidence is all about. And the tip is basically to build your confidence outside of the whole parenting arena. Build your confidence. The word confidence implies trust. You've heard of a con man? The long version of that is a confidence man. And you know that a con man gains the trust of people and then he exploits that for whatever nefarious reasons he has. Confidence has to do with trust. So think about how much you trust yourself. I just had an experience last week where I got to interview David Horsager. He is the author of a book called The Trust Edge and a new book, Trusted Leader. So he spends all of his professional time in this area of trust. He pointed out that there's some things that are important in establishing and rebuilding trust. So let's say that you don't quite trust yourself to follow through in saying no to your kids. How can you build that trust? By making and keeping your commitments. Think about it. You trust people who keep their commitments to you, right? Are you keeping your commitments to yourself? This could be as simple as piling things. Okay, now I use that one because I'm an amateur hoarder and I tend to pile things. Think about it. When you get something in the mail, for example, do you still get things in the actual mail? And you're looking at this item and maybe it's something you want, maybe it's something you don't. If it's trash, you just toss it in the trash, right? But if it's something that you're not quite sure about, you might set it somewhere. Typically, people set things on the nearest horizontal surface. You know that table right inside your door as you come in the house? Yeah, that gets piled up, doesn't it? Or your dresser surface in your bedroom. Sometimes the floor is the nearest horizontal surface and you pile things there. A pile represents unkept commitments. So just try this as an exercise of building your confidence outside of the parenting arena. Find one of your piles and eliminate it. Okay, does that bring up any anxieties for you? It does for me, because I'm like, well, some of that stuff in there is important. Is it? Really? When's the last time I touched the pile? We tend to pile things up because we say, oh, I'll do that later, right? That's a commitment that we made to ourselves. And if we don't keep that commitment, we don't trust ourselves as much. This is a psychological hack. And you can do it with whatever pile. So find one in your kitchen or on your desk or there on that table by the door. Find a pile, it can be a small one, probably it's best to start with a small one, and eliminate it. As you go through the pile, there's 3 options. Keep it because you do actually value it and want it, but if you keep it, you have to find it a home. Not the pile, a home. It might be in a file, it might get to be put away somewhere, or maybe you get to take some specific action on that thing. Whatever it is, just commit to eliminating the pile. You're going to keep it, or you're going to toss it because it's junk after all and you haven't looked at it anyway, right? Or you're going to donate it. Most of the stuff in my basement, Vicki and I went through it recently and we did that. It's either keep, toss, or donate. And donate for us means we value this space more than we value the stuff cluttering up the space. And so we're going to put it to a higher use, because when we donate it, someone else who really actually wants it and will use it can use that thing. We had some camping equipment downstairs. We had some old holiday decorations that we hadn't used for years. Well, why is it taking up space in our home when it could be fulfilling a higher purpose? So find a pile and eliminate it. Are you down? This will increase your confidence outside of the parenting arena, and you'll be able to say no better to your kids. Hey, before I get to those next 2 steps, take a moment to subscribe. There's so much more support for you when you're subscribed to the channel. Click subscribe. Here's one of the things that a lot of parents tell me in our coaching groups and in the trainings that we do. It's hard to say no because they want their kids to be happy, to be pleased, to not be upset with them. Think about it. This is when it's the hardest to say no. If you think it's going to upset someone, then you're hesitant to say no. So here's my second powerful tip to you. It's not your job to please them. Can I say that any more forcefully? It is not your job to please them. In fact, you can't even control that. Think about it. Even when you're giving them what they want, they're still like, oh, I want this or I want that. As human beings, we cannot meet all of our desires. There will always be more that you want or desire than what you actually have. Okay? And you've already got an abundance. But we're designed that way. That's a whole other psychological discussion to get into. Why do we always picture something better than what we've got and think that we need it? Well, your kids do that all the time. So when they're making these requests of you, it's not that they need it. Think about it. They've already got everything they need. And to spare. You've given them more than they actually need. What do they need? There's 5 things actually. They need love, they need air, they need water, they need food, they need shelter. Are you providing what they need? Yes, you are. And a whole lot above that. Now, I wanted to emphasize that because it's not your job to please them or to satisfy them. I'm not sure that you can. It is your job to love them, no matter what and even if. That's your job. Just settle on that for just a minute. As you think about that, what if you believed that? What if you knew that your job is to love them no matter what and even if? Can you do that? Yeah. How does that feel? See, you're doing your job as a parent. It doesn't mean that you're a good parent, that you cave into their every request. In fact, that's probably working against you. It's not your job to please them. It's your job to love them no matter what and even if. And as you gain confidence in yourself, as you learn to trust yourself, like we talked about in the first step, and you settle in on your job is to love them no matter what and even if, can you just picture how much more confidence that's going to bring to your parenting? And I can help you with, okay, how do I deal with someone who's upset because I said no? We can get to that too. In fact, we've got a lot of other videos here on the channel that'll help you with that. Here's the one that probably is going to surprise you because you're watching this video so you'll have more confidence in saying no to your child. The third tip that I want to share with you is get to yes. I'm not even telling you to say no. Get to yes. This is a powerful parenting strategy because it puts you in a very different position and no one is going to resist your saying yes. You get the kickback when you say no, right? That's when they go off on you or they lose their cool. Get to yes. Here's how you do that. Yes if or yes when. Do you see how that puts you back into a position of influence and power? You're not saying yes, no strings attached. Yes, no cost involved. Yes, it's free for the asking. You're saying yes when or yes if. Just a quick example. My son came to me. This was when he was, I think, about 16 years old. And he said, Dad, can I go to this party? And I'm like, tell me more about the party, right? Because teenagers typically don't give you all of the information right up front. Well, he started telling me about it. And I was a little unsure about the whole party thing, but I wanted to get to yes. And so I said, yes, when you have finished the responsibilities that you agreed to do. And I think it had to do with like his homework and some chores and things like that. See, if he can show me the responsibility of taking care of his stuff, I have more trust for him to take care of things at this party. How about a yes when? Dad, how about you get me a cell phone? Yes. When you've shown me that you can be on stage 3 consistently for 3 weeks in a row, and you've raised the money to pay the monthly fee. Okay? Yes, when? Yes, if. Get to yes. Ask yourself this. What would it take for me to be okay with this? And if it's something that you're really not okay about, then okay, say no. But when you say no, mean no. Pick your battles carefully. I think we have to ask ourselves as parents, before I march up this hill, am I ready to die on it? We pick our battles very carefully. When you say no, mean no. But get to yes as often as you can with yes when or yes if. Your job is to love them no matter what and even if, and because you love them, you want them to learn responsibility. Are you ready to learn what's next about teaching children responsibility? Cue up that next video. I'll help you out with that.